Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this great world of ours. Today is July 5th, 2026. It is day 24 of my video challenge. And man, what a couple of days it's been in FIFA football. We've seen some pretty decent upsets um, and some almost epic history making upsets, almost. Cabo Verde, I really wanted to see them beat Argentina because as an American, we love um, an underdog story, and I got to say that team, the little team that could, the little team that nobody expected to even make it into the World Cup, after playing the way that they've played and getting all the way to Argentina and giving Argentina that scare, that real scare of, oh my God, we could lose. We could, they're the reigning world champs and they could almost got put out by this tiny little team. Um, just first of all, bravo to the Cabo Verde team. And they should have, they should feel nothing but pride at how they played in this World Cup series. Well done. And they should go home and hold their heads high and just revel in how well they did and look forward to 4 years from now. Right? Um, and then Norway, any team that's made it into the World Cup is a strong team, obviously. But Norway beating Brazil, that was a shocker. I wasn't expecting that. Well done, Norway, and congratulations to your team. I look forward to seeing them play another round. And then, well, sadly, I don't know. Mexico got beat by England, and so well done, England, Team England, and Team Mexico. I know everybody here in America was rooting for you. You're our neighbor, and obviously we wanted to see you progress. Um, so you know, uh, onward and forward, right? So man, that must have just been a crazy game. They were in Mexico City in the national, in the their preeminent stadium for that. It must have just been an incredible game. I didn't get to see any of it. I had the kind of the score and time counter was up while I was working, and yeah, it was all the way down. They kept coming back. They were down. They kept coming back. I thought, maybe they would score another goal in the last 6 minutes to tie it up and force it into extra time. But that just didn't happen. So again, congratulations, Team England, and yeah, we'll see if there's any more amazing upsets with that. Um, and Team USA is doing well, and I don't have a feeling that they're gonna go all the way, but we play Belgium next, and Belgium, of course, has played exceptionally good. So we'll see what happens with that, right? But it's been really fun. Thank goodness everyone who's come over to the U.S. has had a really good time, and we've all enjoyed having everyone over. I think the world sees America as very tuned out, but it's just we're so far away from everything. This is a big country, and we're really far away. Maybe not as far as like Australia and New Zealand. Those are two very extremely remote countries. Um, but yeah, kind of similar. And I think people underestimate how much Americans enjoy being around people from other parts of the world because we just kind of get sick about being surrounded by ourselves all the time, right? It's really nice to have everybody over and be a part of this. I know the last time I was actually in Germany, but in 1994. So I was watching the World Cup being held in America for the first, well, I think it was the first time. I don't know, first time in modern history. And so that was interesting to be in Germany watching the World Cup taking place in America. But that was pre-modern internet. It wasn't pre-internet. In fact, the World Wide Web had been launched, and Mosaic, the first browser that was the precursor to Netscape, had launched in 1993. So there were, but we didn't have like live streaming and things like that. That was still at least 10 years away. So yeah, it's been great because everybody's so much more connected now. So it's easier than ever to tune in to what's going on. It's been a lot of fun. And it's going to be kind of sad when it all winds down, because then America has to go back to dealing with the craziness that we're dealing with right now, which is our country being overrun by sociopaths. And sociopaths are just terrible at making decisions for anybody other than themselves. So that's, the last place you want them to be is in positions of public power, whether that be in heads of giant corporations or in public office. And we have a lot of sociopaths in both of those places now. Completely unregulated, full lack of accountability for anyone. It's just getting so messy. And I have hopes that it gets better. But I think it's got to get worse before it gets better, because people just don't understand how bad it really is yet. Because most people in America are just trying to make ends meet, and they don't have the time to really dig in to this kind of stuff. I have been watching this stuff since the late 80s. That's when I really started to take notice. And that was right after I got out of the military. When I was in the military, in the U.S. military, it was an eye-opening experience of like, oh, wow. Because the military is a reflection of our government, and it was just a really, what I saw was disheartening. It did not give me confidence in our country. So, anyhow, in the meanwhile, let's just continue to enjoy this wonderful event, the World Cup, bringing everybody together. It does show that Americans have space in our culture for association football, right? When I was over in Europe, and everyone said, "How come you guys don't watch association football? We call it soccer." And I said, hey, we already have so many sports that Americans pay attention to. And these were all sports that were developing around the same time as soccer. American football, which is also called gridiron football. So FIFA football was called association football when it was being developed. American football is gridiron football. And then there's rugby football and Australian rules football. So there were all these different versions of football being co-developed around the same time. But so we have American football, both professional and college. We have a lot of universities in America. We have a lot. And so there's the 50 states, and each of the 50 states have at least 2 major universities. Usually what's called a land-grant university, and then also the state universities. And then there's private universities like, Harvard, Stanford, those kinds of things, Tulane, So we have a lot of universities, and over the last 150 years or so, we have developed very rigorous sporting tradition at the university level. Uh, and so, with 50 states and several major universities per state, that's a lot of teams playing, right? I mean, that's, rivals basically the European soccer scene. Um, and then so not only do we have American football at the college level, the university level, we also have um, college basketball, and then we have um, professional American football and professional American basketball, and then we have professional um, baseball, and to a little bit of a lesser extent, like lower tier baseball, local teams, lower tier, and then golf and goddamn, we got a lot of sports here, right? So even though we follow many Americans, we have NASCAR racing, all that kind of stuff. We follow a lot of sports, and when I was growing up, we you would even people would follow the bowling leagues. That was still really big. But I think this World Cup series has shown that Americans have space for yet another sport, right? And it's good, you know. We can grow, and we're one of those countries that's a very inclusive country and a very inclusive culture because that's how we began. We had a bunch of people coming together trying to make it all work. So yeah, it's been fun. I don't know if you've been watching FIFA at all. It's a good time. I think, even more fun watching the World Cup fans, the international fans, come to America and just have fun, kind of like exploring the towns that they're in during the days where there's no football happening. I'm enjoying that just as much, right? Seeing all the little odd things about America that make us who we are. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Hope everybody's having a good time, and yeah, just remember, you are more important than you know, and far more loved than you can imagine. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.